Steve Mnuchin's dog ate his tax plan analysis. Even before congressional Republicans had written their tax bills, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin was making the bold claim that whatever the House and Senate came up with would not only pay for itself, but will pay down debt, an assertion that he has repeated ad nauseam in the time since both chambers revealed their plans. What he hasn't done is produce detailed analysis that actually proves such a thing. How to account for the holdup. While taking family photos with money has certainly cut into his schedule, the actual reason, according to the New York Times, is that the analysis the former Goldman Sachs partner keeps promising is just around the corner literally does not exist. Despite Mnuchin stating that more than 100 people at the Treasury are working around the clock on running scenarios for us, those within the department whom he has credited with running the models told the Times they've essentially been shut out of the process. So far, the only study the administration has released was a report written by the Council of Economic Advisers in October that said an average household could expect a $3,000 to $7,000 boost in income thanks to the reduced corporate tax rate, a prediction a co-founder of the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center described as utterly implausible. When Treasury officials met with Senator Bob Corker on Monday after promising to provide him with analysis prior to the full Senate vote, they came empty-handed. They came over, had a very nice meeting, but there's no modeling yet, Corker said. Incidentally, while hard at work not analyzing the economic effects of the tax cuts, the Treasury did find the time to remove a 2012 research paper that contradicted the administration's claim that slashing corporate tax rate will boost wages. The paper was a dated staff analysis from the previous administration. It does not represent our current thinking and analysis, a spokesperson explained to the Wall Street Journal. When asked by the Times why Mnuchin has so far produced bugs, a Treasury official claimed that there simply wasn't enough time to come up with a full analysis. Holding off on the vote until one is complete is, apparently, crazy talk. That same person then referred to an open letter by conservative economists that ran in the Wall Street Journal this week, as if to say, why should the Treasury Department bother to generate a report when this letter tells us exactly what we want to hear? And while we would never dare suggest that the foreclosure mogul turned political appointee hasn't released the long-promised analysis because he knows it won't back up his claims, some people believe that to be the case. This administration's top salesman spent months trying to con the American people into buying false claims about their tax plan, said Senator Ron Wyden. Treasury has broken this promise intentionally and know the truth would sink this scam once and for all. Of course, the D-list bond villain is only getting away with this because Republicans are letting him. After his very nice yet utterly uninformative meeting with Treasury officials, Bob Corker went ahead and voted to advance the bill for a full vote on the floor. His buddy John McCain, who on Tuesday said he might not vote for the bill because he did not know what was in it, followed suit. Late in the day on Thursday, the Treasury Department's Inspector General, last seen probing Mnuchin's infamous day trip, said that he was investigating the curious case of the missing analysis. It's a top priority, Rich Delmer, counsel to Inspector General Eric Thorson, wrote in an email. We're sure there's a totally reasonable explanation for Mnuchin's checks in the mail approach here. If you would like to receive the Levin report in your inbox daily, click here to subscribe. Republicans have a foolproof plan to deal with any news they don't like. Ignore it. Though the Treasury has yet to release its full analysis, many other groups have done so, and the results are not pretty. On Thursday, Congress's Joint Committee on Taxation said that its dynamic score of the Senate bill showed it would add an estimated $1 trillion to the deficit, even after accounting for $408 billion in new revenue. How did the Republican-led Senate Finance Committee respond? We'll give you two guesses, but you'll only need one. An analysis of tax provisions that do not reflect the final outcome of the evolving Senate tax bill, which will be amended on the floor this week, is incomplete, insisted spokeswoman Julia Lawless. The Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, CBO, has said it was not practicable to issue a macro view of the Senate bill at this time. And given that leading economists have projected the Senate tax bill will deliver significantly higher amounts of economic growth and federal revenue than the Joint Committee on Taxation, JCT, reports, the findings of JCT are curious and deserve further scrutiny. For those of you keeping track at home, that hat trick included the claim that it is impossible to analyze the bill based on what the Senate itself has already included, a reference to the letter sent by conservative economists to Steve Mnuchin that is really putting in overtime this week, and aspersions that couldn't be more dripping in condescension if they were soaking wet. For brevity's sake, Texas Senator John Cornyn simply rejected the estimates out of hand. https://twitter.com/joeupwilliams31/status/93634098031013888. That settles that. Did Jared Kushner's family business send out the most tone-deaf holiday gift of all time? Survey says, yes. 2017 has not been the year many of us hoped for. Yet the holiday season, a time for giving thanks, and sharing bounties, and passing around joy, is upon us all anyway, Kushner's included, and some semblance of normalcy must be kept. For Kushner, that means continuing an annual tradition of sending around company-branded swag to its usual group of real estate developers, bankers, and business acquaintances. 3 years ago, the company gift was a black, Kushner branded hooded sweatshirt with white piping. 2 years ago, a similarly branded black vest. Last year, a pair of headphones. This year, according to a person who has seen the gift, Kushner sent its friends a white bathrobe embossed with its logo on the right shoulder. Custom holiday gifts are ordered many months ahead of time, long before bathrobes were in the news, Kushner spokeswoman Christine Taylor told my colleague Emily Jane Fox. So not tone-deaf at all, just a thoughtful holiday gift? The White House totally, definitely, without question knows what cryptocurrency is. Here's an exchange that took place today between Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Politico's John Bresnahan. Bresnahan: Sarah, we often hear the president talk about the stock market. We haven't yet heard from him, though, on a separate but similar issue, which is cryptocurrency. Has the president been following this at all? Does he have an opinion on it? Does he feel or does the administration feel that this is now something that needs to be regulated by the government? Sanders: I know this is something that is being monitored by our team here. In terms of specific briefings and announcements on it, I don't have anything that I can share with you right now but would be happy to follow back up with you. Bresnahan: What kind of monitoring? Sanders: I'm sorry? Bresnahan: What kind of monitoring? Sanders: Look, this is an issue, I know, that Tom Bossert, with the Homeland Security team, an advisor to the president, has brought this up in a meeting earlier this week. I know it's something that he's keeping an eye on. And we'll keep you posted when we have anything further on it. Elsewhere, Trump firms must save records for AG's emoluments lawsuit. Bloomberg cautious Carl Icahn says market has gotten into a euphoric state. CNBC parliamentarian says revenue trigger in GOP tax plan will not work under rules of Senate. CNBC House plans 2-week spending bill to avoid shutdown. Bloomberg finance pros say you'll have to pry Excel out of their cold, dead hands. WSJ conservative megadonor Robert Mercer funded Project Veritas. BuzzFeed Credit Suisse vows to return 50% of profits to shareholders by 2019. Financial Times: This is what could pop the Bitcoin bubble. Bloomberg: Porsche reported stolen in 1991 found at bottom of a cliff. UPI.